Hello, everyone. Welcome to this 1.5 mile oval in Kansas City, Kansas, the Kansas Speedway to round out the season number 5, coming to a close here in the NSDCA for the Mountain Dew Custom Series. 35 drivers here ready to round out the season at a track that has provided some exciting finales in the past. And speaking of exciting, we've seen it in the Crown Royal Truck Series booth. The commentator, he also did Phoenix, Old Spice, and was alongside me at Watkins Glen. Brandon is back for this finale. What are your thoughts heading into this 41 laps of action here today?
Happy to be back in the Mountain Dew Custom Series booth. And what I'm thinking here, Colton Layne starting third. Last season, he ran up front here at Kansas. Pretty much for Logan Cloud, he's going to have to hope something goes wrong with Colton Layne. They both start up front, and you got Austin Johnson right back there as well, and Roger Rey back there as well. So all of the championship contenders are inside the top 8. But I think Colton Layne, there's going to have to be something that happens to that 14 for anyone else to win this title.
Bolton here, we're going to get a better look at him. He has just had an incredible season in that Vornado Pontiac Grand Prix for Mid-South Automotive, a record-breaking season. 5 poles here in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, which I think Jay Jefferson just tied in the Truck Series coming into this weekend. But 4 wins, 8 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. Average finish 9.23. Logan Cloud not too far off. He has 2 wins, 6 top 5s, and 8 top 10s, average 9.62, but he is 15 points back. Cloud's going to need some help if he wants to win this championship.
One thing to look at for Colton Layne, too, his average starting position is 6th. That's inside the top 10, with the closest driver behind him being Roger Rey, who starts this race in 7th at a 10.08. Now, looking back at Austin Johnson and Roger Rey, Johnson came into last season's finale as a championship contender, only 3 points off of Galloway, but that car really fell back. Rey and Johnson sit 30 and 31 points back, respectively, and Layne and Cloud are the two that are fighting for this title. However, if that 14 and 79 make contact and possibly they race too hard and go into the wall, that 9 and 40 can get up there, possibly win this championship. So do not count them out. It's going to be a long shot and needs a lot to happen to those front two championship contenders, but we should be for a great race here at Kansas.
I mean, Logan Cloud himself, he's going to need some help too. Lane's got to probably finish not only outside the top 10, probably like the top 15, maybe the top 20. Cloud probably has to win the race. But we can't forget about some of these guys up here as well. Look at this front row. Some surprises up here. William Duncan, he's known for running on the road course and the plate tracks well. He's on the pole here at Kansas, his second of the season. Only 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s this year for Duncan. This could be a big statement race for him as he's built up a lot of confidence through the second half of the season.
And we're also looking at that second guy, Eric Monaco. Smart Motorsports, they have been on the rise for the past 2 seasons. In the O2, don't forget, he almost won the All-Star Open last season for the Mountain Dew Custom Series in his Home Depot O2 before he was taken out by Wyatt Quayle in the closing laps. Monaco's very fast at Kansas, and he's looking to get that team their first career win. But Duncan, of course, got his first win this season at Watkins Glen the last time I was commentating in the booth. Maybe that'll give him some luck for today.
Have to see further on down here. You have two Dodges to the outside of the 9 and the 40 who start 5th and 7th. It's Larry Hagan in the 28. He's still 7th in points, only 1 point behind Alex Peters and 11 behind Stephen Wallace Jr. in that race for 5th. Wallace Jr., he'll be starting deeper in the field. Antoine Smith, obviously, in his last start with Evernham before he moves up to the trucks next season. Larry Hagan, can't forget about him. He's moving up. Actually, everybody in this shot, I think, is moving up because Hagan's going to Cup, Johnson is going to trucks with DY, Rey is moving to trucks, and Antoine is going to trucks with SBR. Further down the grid, there's Stephen Wallace Jr. 5th in the point standings. Why Alex Peters, his car is up on jacks or something, maybe a little bit of pre-race issues there for the 87. Can't forget about Alex Fletcher, though. He'll be driving that 02 next season for Smart Motorsports. He is 9th in the point stand. He's obviously got that win at Daytona. It's been pretty lackluster for him since about race 3. But Fletcher, maybe he can get something going here in his final start with TSR. Do you have anybody else you want to mention before we go green here at the Kansas Speedway?
Just to round out that top 10, the TRD duo of Luke Rainey and Cordell Smith took out inside the top 10. TRD really an improvement this season with that SBR alliance, and we still have 35 drivers fighting. 4 of them fighting for a championship, the rest are fighting for a win. It should be exciting here at Kansas.
And with that, pre-race has dragged on long enough. Let's get these engines fired for the Champions 200. 41 laps of action, as always, around this 1.5 mile oval, the Kansas Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the 35 competitors will roar to life here onto the pit lane for 41 laps of action. Jake Galloway, the champion last year, won this race last season, season number 3. Honestly, don't remember. But if we can get to, there is the pace car wheeling out. This track is a little bit progressively banked, probably about, I think it's like 15 on the bottom, maybe 20 up top, but won't be much of a factor. This is a bottom feeding track, and you are going to be wanting to stay on the bottom as the starting lineup rolls across your screen. Brandon, do you have anything before we go green, before we get this field fired up one last time?
Kansas has always given us some great season finale races, the Crown Royal Truck Series especially, but in the MDCS you can't count it out, especially with DJ Gibson blowing up from the championship winning position back in Season 3 when Paul Jackson won the race, and Season 4 a duel between Colton Layne, Jake Galloway, and Austin Johnson. Rolling through 3 and 4, it's sure to be an exciting race, so let's go ahead, pull those belts tight, and let's get ready to go racing at Kansas.
Ace car is down, 41 laps of action. Duncan and Monaco side by side ahead of the 1-2 in the championship. We're green, the bottom gets a great launch.
Heading off into turn 1, Duncan pulling out to the race lead, and Monaco dropping back early, and Logan Cloud dropping very far back as Monaco really holds him up. That's going to be a lot of spots lost already. There's Alex Fletcher in the 48. The paint scheme has not changed since last season. Maybe the driver has, but that 48 still has a great setup here for Kansas. Maybe he'll be able to pull on through, but Monaco dropped to 5th already as Rey and Johnson fight after Layne.
He had to miss a shift in that 0-2. I don't see how Monaco could have been that slow off the jump and through 1 and 2, even if it was the outside. But Duncan lifts, lets Colton Layne by, and now Colton will try and set sail away for this title. Now, looking back, Rey has gotten past Johnson. They're going to need some help, though, as Cloud slipping back on the high side. We're going to watch him here in his cluster, just in the fighting for the final spots in the top 10.
Starting on the outside, it's not really the best thing. Now, if that inside line breaks up pretty early on, like it did for a couple spots up front, you can make your way up. Logan Cloud, this 79, struggling as the 87 and 98 make contact. That could almost just gifted Layne the championship right there. Now they're 3 wide. Cloud getting aggressive now with his teammate Antoine Smith to the bottom. Larry Hagan might go and push him up through the middle, but now it looks like the 79 will get to the inside. Now his charge back to the front should be in full swing, but that 14 starting to pull away in the lead.
And the vice is tight here in the midfield. Guys going 2 and 3 wide, racing aggressively at the front. Oh, near contact between the 9 and the 33. Duncan, not known for being strong in the speedways. He had a great qualifying setup. Looks like he may not have it in the race. He's slipping back early as some of the stronger cars get by. Roger Rey, Austin Johnson trying to lay the pressure onto the 14 as much as they can early. Hopefully, like last season, there aren't any dirty tactics involved like Brandon Morris decided to pull to try and get Burkhart the Crown Royal Truck Series Championship here last season. Hopefully these guys can keep it clean throughout the fight.
And one thing to point out about Roger Rey, he is winless in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, and this is the last time he'll be full-time in the 40 car that I know of until he goes to his Crown Royal Truck seat next season, trying to end this one on a high note, possibly get his first win. But really, for the 40 and 9, these two need to win the race. That is the only way that they're going to get past Layne in the championship, especially with Colton Layne and that 14 team. They are 30 points ahead of them. There's only 41 points, I believe, in the Mountain Dew Custom Series up for grabs. So Layne needs to finish outside the top 25 at best for those two to win a title.
Flyby through the field as it looked like Austin Johnson made a look on Rey down the back straightaway. That goes nowhere. He remains in P3. further back, Logan Cloud, he has settled in. He's got no traffic around him. He's slot into P8. That's not enough, especially with Layne in the lead. Bobo Jones keeping the final spot in the top 10, having a good run, as well as Vince Freeze in that 92. Those cars are going to merge next season when NBM takes over the DYI MDCS program.
You also got that Kamikaze Motorsports number 46 back there. That's Austin Delgado. He will be actually moving up to the bigger team there in that satellite operation. I believe he's moving in to Anjado next season. So that 46 team, he's finally getting his opportunity that he wanted to run, and he is now just inside, I believe, the top 15, possibly just the top 20. But the KGM equipment has been really strong with the 46. Mears has a few top 10s, mostly at the road courses, but this 46 team has been the leading factor for that team. And looking further back, Casey Mears pretty much at the back of the grid, looks to be about 32nd.
James Ellison, he had that run at Talladega. He had a poor qualifying here at Kansas. Obviously not doing the best. His focus may be on the Crown Royal Truck Series currently, though, as he's replacing the injured DJ Gibson there, as well as John Dilks getting very racy underneath the two of Prima McShane, Jesse Turner, Dale Cole Jr. buried back here. And this is Mid-South Automotive's final race, so Colton Layne trying to send this team out with a bang and get this title for them, the title that they couldn't pull off last year.
And that's one thing to note with MSA closing due to circumstances earlier this season, and the NSDCA now owns the team as they are 2, 3, 4 wide even possibly back here as Logan Cloud's pulling up. That 9 and 14 are going to be free for people to buy. They will be in the auctions this season, or this off season, and that is going to be big because these are both race winning cars. The 9 hasn't won a race, but he's third in points, and he won a race last season in the same equipment. So that 14, which could be a championship equipment, very strong as William Duncan bounces off the wall, pretty thin down this front straightaway there as you go 3 wide. But now Duncan really starting to fall back early on in this run.
How about these cars up here? They are so strong. Colton Layne and Roger Rey, some of the best equipment in this field, and they are just working together, pulling away from this field. A 2-second gap already as Rey has a big run off the corner. Can he look for the lead here into turn 1 on lap 12? Nope, staying in line.
Turn 1 is a scary place if you're a championship leader. Colton Layne watched that race last season with Diego Yepes, and he got turned by Morris heading down into turn 1. I don't think Roger Rey will drive that dirty. He's on a championship-winning organization. They know how to get it done without racing aggressively. And Roger Rey, a very strong driver, hoping to see good things out of him this season. But again, looking for that first win of his Mountain Dew Custom Series career. He's going to have to beat one of the best in Colton Layne in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. And one thing about Colton, he's looking for a record-breaking 5th win this season. As well, he is already over Diego Yepes' record for wins all-time in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, 5 for that 14 team.
Back to Roger Rey. He hasn't won this season. He's not the flashiest driver, but he has consistency, as now he's got a better run for the lead. He's looking for it. Only 4 top 5s, not a lot for somebody third in points, but 10 top 10s. That's more than Layne and Cloud. So this 40 team, although they are not flashy, they are consistent, and that's what's put them in the fight. Although he's ahead of Layne, that's only going to gain him like 5 points. That is nowhere near the amount he needs for this championship. No issue so far yet onto the track. Let's take a look further back through the field.
As we look through the field, one thing to mention about Rey was that he has the most top 10s in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. So does Carson Bowers in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Interesting to note that the Anjado top drivers both have the most top 10s in their series. So consistency in Anjado is very strong. But as we look further back, you see that 78. I believe that is Ryan Butcher. Is that team owner Ryan Butcher in it this weekend?
Yes, it is. Mathis Wells was relieved of his duties a race early, struggling in that 78 equipment, but I don't know if it's driver or car. Butcher not doing so hot, but he really hasn't had a lot of seat time in the MDCS as of recent.
That 78 team, Mathis Wells has been there, I believe this is his 3rd season on the team, and it's probably going to be up this season. He's most likely going to be a free agent. I don't think BGM will re-sign him unless they have already, but You also got Austin Murray back here. He was one of the CRTS championship contenders. He got his first Mountain Dew Custom Series win this season earlier on, and he's really struggling for Johnson performance. This team, though, JP is coming back with the 54 and 57 next season, which is nice to see with this team. Maybe they'll be able to snag some of that MSA equipment.
We'll have to see as back up to the front side by side once again, but I was watching it on the ticker those last couple laps. Austin Johnson, he's working this gap in that 9 car as Layne really backs out, doesn't want to risk his equipment getting into a wreck. He lets Roger Ray have it. He knows there's time left in this race just to get the lead, not play too aggressive early.
And Colton Layne at this point, Logan Cloud has not really got up there. He's actually dropped back a couple more spots. He's back to 9th. Layne doesn't have to do anything at this point. If he wants that 5th win to break a record, go ahead. I mean, that's probably what he's racing for right now. But as long as he does not crash out, as long as something doesn't happen to that team, he should be golden to take this title. But as they run right now, of course, in the NSDCA points, first and second score just a little bit more than the rest of the grid. So right now, if Colton Layne was to blow up, I believe Rey and Cloud could tie for the championship if Rey was to win this race. But Cloud does have 2 wins, so Cloud would win a tiebreaker with Rey or Johnson. Layne wins every tiebreaker.
Have to see as Layne looking for the lead off of 4 once again, just like how Roger Ray took it just a couple laps ago. Side by side across the line as we approach the halfway point. Similar to Las Vegas and similar to Chicagoland, the other mile and a halves that we have visited this season, they have been caution-free. They have been clean. This is completely opposite to the Crown Royal Truck Series, where there has been more accidents than there are on the even bigger tracks. So not sure if the package changes have really affect that or not, or the Crown Royal Truck Series guy. They've got 5 more trucks out there. That's just asking for more wrecks. So we'll just have to see. The gap closing. The 9 is here. We're going to take an onboard lap or 2. It's number 9 of Austin Johnson. Some of these guys really have to get out of the throttle now as they're really riding that white line as these tires starting to wear. Time by, they're really not losing too much, but working down as this groove gets rubbered in, they're having to lift more than they were in the opening laps. Here we go for the lead. Rey to the inside. Maybe Johnson looking for the outside in a second. He's going to blow by him. Rey's fighting back on the inside.
These guys getting real aggressive up front. That might spell trouble for Colton Layne in case they start really going even 3 wide. That could be dangerous for him as Layne's going to bounce off of the wall, give it back to Rey, and Johnson's going to drive right to the inside. So I think right there, Layne gave up that spot. He hit the wall. I think he said, I'm done pushing it for right now. Let me just drop back right around. Don't want to tear this car up because if he does wreck at this point, Cloud could win this title.
So the action picking up. Austin Johnson, he laid back, and now he is putting in some great lap times in the draft, coming into turn 1. Unlike Chicagoland, these guys are having better luck passing off of turn 4 than going into the corners, but Rey's drift up to the track. Johnson's going to be fighting on the bottom.
And I think Johnson being so far back, Rey was fighting Layne this whole time. And you remember, the MDCS mostly runs just on 1 tire the whole race, unlike the CRTS where they have multiple chances to pit for those trucks. These guys have those tires and they got to take care of them. And I think that's what Johnson was doing, just riding back there for a little bit as Layne and Rey fought up front. Now that 9 could be in a position to win this race. He might have those better tires and he has the draft to catch up and pass that 14. Now working on the 40.
Got to think this series here, the MDCS runs Hoosiers as well. Taking a quick look back, Eric Monaco still having a good day there in 4th. Luke Rainey, he's won at Steelback. Fell out of the championship fight. He slipped down to 8th. He sits 5th. Then it's Antoine Duncan. There is Cloud. He remains P8. Alex Fletcher and Peter Onjek rounding out your top 10. There's a big gap there to Hagen in 11th.
A good few drivers up front that we don't normally see battling. Antoine Smith has really come into the speed for Evernham in the last few races. Sadly, he is moving off to probably better pastures over at Shade Burkhardt Racing, as he will take over the 00 truck next season. You also got William Duncan and Eric Monaco both fighting up front. If these top three were to have an issue or something, Eric Monaco might be able to get up there, possibly mix up with it. And you got Peter Onjak in 10th. Since his Mountain Dew Season 1 championship, it hasn't really been a good run for Peter. His team has done much better, as you see Ray out in front here for Anjato, but happy to see him inside the top 10. And next season, with these leeches, as Logan Cloud and Peter Onjak fight up front inside the top 10, those guys will be back, limited to just 5 starts next season in the Mountain Dew Custom Series if they are running in the Sundrop Cup Series, which both of those drivers are. But Ray holding on over Johnson, Layne trying to close, and Eric Monaco, we'll see if he'll be able to catch as we come into the final, or come close to the final 10 laps here at Kansas.
Layne trying to work the top there as we have the ticker up, looking at some of the guys further down the order. Mike Cook, 16th, good run for him. Scott Roush, 17th. So Diatech having a pretty good day with Duncan in the top 10 as well. That's Sam Picard in the number 90. He's actually doing a couple starts for Coors Light Racing in the 8 team next season. Further on back, Jacob Rose about 25th. Premium Exchange 27th. Rockstar Energy Racing still fighting monetary issues, I believe, so poor runs for them. That's not going to be good. Also fighting monetary issues there. That 3 team, Reed Racing, Ryan Reed, his final start for the team, he made it, and he will not only be not on Reed Racing, but he has been knocked out of his Smart Motorsports deal. He'll be running in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series next season. As you see here, that is the 14, Colton Layne. He's gotten back by for second.
Johnson, I said that he might have had better tires, but he might have just used them up trying to catch that 40. Now Layne is coming back with a vengeance. Obviously, Colton Layne has the best car in the garage. There's no question about it. Their engine program and aero program was top-notch coming into this season, and now they're back for it. Of course, those 4 wins show you how fast they were. And as we were going through the ticker, I was going to say Roger Ray pulling away would be could be locking in a win for him, but Layne has just shot out of a cannon the last 2 laps. I think now he really wants to go up there and try to win this race. We do have just 10 laps to go this time by, I believe. So Roger Ray out in front. He's going to have to hold off the MSA duo, but don't think that the MSA guys will work together to win the race. They've always been at each other's throats, but they are respecting each other right now. 10 to go here at Kansas.
Last time by, Roger Ray ran a 29.968. Colton Layne was a little bit slower, actually, so maybe the dirty air got into his way there, but taking one last look back to the field, Jesse Turner having another poor run. He's running in this 29 car again next season. He'll be running in the truck series as well for Anj Auto, and they're on charge. A crash! It's Delgado around. That could bring out a caution. And if he doesn't move, that could be bad. But those guys, they're going to be far enough away from the accident. But this changes everything. We've had our first caution of a mile and a half in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, and it is Austin Delgado going around in the back. What's going to happen here? Roger Ray, is he going to get jumped? Can some of these guys here, like Monaco and Randy, prevent? Have they been saving their stuff? What's going to happen for the fight in the championship?
Now this right here, Colton Layne now has to be scared. Up front, you just had 2 guys that were racing fine, and they were racing clean. Now you have Eric Monaco, Luke Rainey, Antoine Smith. Logan Cloud is back in this fight. And these guys are going to be fighting to try to catch back up and not let those 3 slip away. We're going to have just a few laps left. But if you remember back to the Season 1 Crown Royal Truck Series Championship battle, a restart caused mayhem by a lap car in front. I don't think we'll have Delgado up in front here, but a restart spun Blake Maurice and Diego Yepes around, and Blake almost lost the title because of it. We'll see what'll happen. Colton Layne in second. All he needs to do is get a good restart, but it'll just depend on how aggressive these guys are now that they have a chance with just a few laps to go.
Get some replays here of the number 46's accident, and we will return to the Champions 200 after that.
Looking at the back of the 46, Ryan Reed just right there. And really, I don't think this is much malicious intent. It's just a racing incident. 46 letting off. Those tires don't allow you to run full throttle anymore. And Ryan Reed just trying to pick up some spots in his final race. Gets into the back of the 46. Decent damage to the 46 at Delgado. His day. Most likely, he'll be able to finish this race. But any chance at major points is over.
Welcome back to the Kansas Speedway for the final 5 laps of the Champions 200, the final 5 laps of the Season 5 season of the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Roger Ray leads over likely champion Colton Layne if nothing goes wrong, or if he doesn't fall too far back. Austin Johnson still hunting there in 3rd as well as Logan Cloud in 7th, with some other guys still fighting up here in top 10s for good runs in the end of the season. But one car down to the apron. Who's that? Looked like it was a green car. That might be the 77. Down. You had an engine failure. Yes, it is. Bobo Jones. That's a big failure, too. So, Bobo, he's going to be out of the 77 early here to end off his season. But he'll be probably the only retirement so far. Do you have anything before we go back to green?
Well, we got Roger Ray, Colton Layne, Austin Johnson up here. 2 of them are trying to get Colton Layne out of the top 3, while Colton Layne's trying to win this title. Pace car is going to head down, though. Roger Ray looking to get that first Mountain Dew Custom Series victory. Green flags back in the air. 5 to go here at the Champions 200.
Everybody dicing here. Look at Eric Monaco. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to mix this championship up. He blows by Austin Johnson here on the bottom. Luke Rainey fighting there as well. Logan Cloud, he's settling back there, but he'll need more than that. Roger Ray got a good launch on Layne. Layne holding back, holding everyone back. He knows he doesn't need to fight Ray for this championship. He's got it where he is now. Bobo Jones was stopped there on the track from his engine failure. Hopefully that does not bring out a caution. He's limping it back to the pits. Hopefully he can make it. But other than that, we're still fighting up here.
Here comes Eric Monaco in that 0-2. He might be able to get up there and possibly win this race. Just needs to get around Colton Layne and chase down that 40, which is a big monumental task. But look who's 5th. There's Logan Cloud. He's been sitting back this whole race. Pretty much if Layne does not get kicked out of the top 10 and Cloud doesn't win this race, he's not going to win the championship. But that doesn't mean he's not going to stop trying. He's now Johnson down to the inside of the 0-2. It's about to be a top 4 between the 4 championship contenders, but Luke Rainey's going to throw that 82 into the ring. Johnson clear into 3rd. Now Rainey drops back as Duncan makes a move. Cloud makes a big move on the 0-2 off of the corner as Layne is hunting Roger Ray up in the front. Cloud trying to get around the 0-2. We have just 2 laps to go here at Kansas this time by.
They are fighting hard, trying to end this season on a high note. Roger Ray trying to hold off Colton Layne. Austin Johnson, everybody behind him for 3rd. They're on him like a cheap suit. Cloud can't get to the inside, but he will. But Johnson driving off on the high side. Cloud trying to stay in his draft here. They're racing hard. Next time by will be the white flag.
Cloud is looking right here. If he can't win this championship, stay at least in 2nd. So he needs to get around Johnson and Ray just to make sure that he can stay up in that 2nd position. Coming to the white flag, though, Roger Ray looking for his first career win is Colton Layne looking for the 6th in his career. Down to the inside. It's side by side into turn 1. This is the final lap at Kansas.
Hadn't seen a move like that from Colton Layne all race long, but he's got it now. Driving off the corner, looking for his 5th win on the season. I think he might be able to do it. Fighting for 3rd. Cloud has slipped back. He's gotten the Toyotas past him. Roger Ray, I don't think he'll have anything for Colton Layne. Off the corner, Ray's looking. Drag race the line. No, Layne blocks him. Colton Layne wins the race and the championship. Colton Layne has done it in Season 5.
Absolute domination this season by Colton Layne. We thought Jake Galloway had an impeccable season last year. 5 wins. That is outstanding for any series. Only 4 other drivers in the NSDCA have more than 5 wins in their entire career. And now Colton Layne submits himself as the greatest of all time in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, surpasses Diego Yepes's records this season, and he is now your Season 5 Mountain Dew Custom Series champion heading into next season.
Doing an extra victory lap, waving to the fans. He knows he's got it. What a season for this 14 team. What a race we just saw. What a fight to the finish. Oh, man. Roger Rey looked so good. Layne got by him. I think if Rey had one more lap, he would have won this race.
Rey had such a good run coming off of 4, but it just wasn't enough to really clear that 14. If it was like Talladega, maybe if the start-finish line was closer to the pit exit, but the 14 team, 5 wins on the season, and Roger Rey, he had this one in the bag. If that caution came out with Delgado, he was really holding off the 14 and 9. Don't know if he would have been able to win the race, but you see John Dilks at the back too, trying to do his victory lap for finishing 30th. But Colton Layne pulls into his pit crew cheering. Fabulous season for the 14 team, and I don't think anyone figured that he'd be stopped today, but he wasn't, and he takes home the race victory with a last lap pass.
Cloud, Rey, Johnson, Rainey, and Duncan rounds out your top 5. Cloud comes home in 6th. That's not going to be enough, but I really don't think. I think he'll keep 2nd with that.
He should, because with Roger Rey not winning the race, he definitely should. That's much less than 15 points gained by Rey there. But Rey put up, I think he might have gotten most laps led. It's either between him or Colton Layne, but he just had a great car today, just wasn't enough. Look at Eric Monaco coming home 7th, and then a triple Dodge group right there. TSR and their alliance partners finish 8th, 9th, and 10th, with Antoine Smith finishing off his Evernham campaign in 8th. It's sad to see him go from Evernham, but he will head over to Toyota camp. And then Alex Fletcher, who will be in that 02 next season. Larry Hagan, who is skipping back over the trucks and heading right for Cup next season with TSR. A great top 10 there, but it is Colton Layne taking the win.
Rest of your starting order has probably gone across your screen by now. Really no notables toward the back. I mean, Preston Emmons, he won Old Spice. He's probably going to be the lowest in the standings with a win. Austin Murray won South Boston. He's back there as well, 25th. Bobo Jones was the only driver out of that, obviously with his engine failure coming back to the green. But that being said, that's it. The season's over. I'm going to have some post-race burnouts, money to be handed out, championship, TUP, all that whatnot. But in a couple months' time, after the Crown Royal Truck Series wraps up, we will be back onto the high banks of Daytona for everybody. The regional series, they'll be at Homestead as well. It'll be Florida Speed Weeks as usual. Season number 6. It'll be a long wait, but hopefully it will be worth it.
And hopefully, as Peter said, we will be at Daytona soon. That just depends on a lot of things, but this season is over, and it was a great fight. Colton Layne, Logan Cloud to the end. Good thing is, though, that Peter will most likely return to the booth next season, and that is a great news for us because that means we will have the great commentary from Peter back in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. But with the Sundrop Cup Series coming next season, should add to the greatness that is Speed Weeks, but that is a long way away. Colton Layne is getting to celebrate with his team in Victory Lane.
Just like to thank Brandon, obviously, for bringing me on for this season. It has been a fun one. I hope you guys have all enjoyed. Colton Layne's dominance may have spoiled some of the season for some of our viewers, but those who are fans of him had to enjoy it. But next season, the contenders from this season are all likely be moving up. We'll have some new faces here to be fighting it out for the title, and some of the old guard maybe on some of the lesser teams will use their experience to their advantage and run even stronger. For myself, it's been a great year. This is signing off from Kansas and the NSDCA.